I'm a liar. I'm sorry. In my last video, I said that the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, or LXG for short, was Sean Connery's final film role. This was no accident. I deliberately omitted the existence of his actual last film role. I stayed away from this product, which some would refer to as a movie, because I saw the poster. I know they say don't judge a book by its cover and don't judge a movie by its poster, but this is not a movie. This is Sir Billi, or Guardian of the Highlands as it's referred to on YouTube, and it is a 2012 animated short feature film. Emphasis on short. Here is a press release from the company that produced the film referring to it as such. After over 3 years of development, fundraising, and unrelenting determination, independent producers and creators from Glasgow Animation Limited have joined forces with Sir Sean Connery to form Billi Productions Limited, which will produce Connery's first ever voice-over role for an animated short feature film. Let me just repeat that last part in American for you. Which will produce Connery's first ever voice role for an animated short feature film. The proof is in the pudding, my friends. So I didn't really lie, I just chose not to talk about the fact that Connery technically acted again after LXG. However, people did get pretty upset with me when I chose not to talk about Sir Billi in my last video, which took a look at legendary actors' final film roles. So I vowed to watch Sir Billi and look at it for my next video. That's the video you're watching right now. Like I said in my last video, it is my duty to watch even the worst film. If that lines up with the one I did last time, that would be the coolest thing ever. Why did Sir Sean Connery himself make this final film? Stay tuned to find out. And if you go on to enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button, as it does really help me out. And without further ado, Sir Billi, roll film! The film starts with some very long title cards for companies I'm not sure even exist before some music begins to play. Almost immediately I could tell this was going to be a sort of pastiche on the Bond opening credits sequence, and it was. But to my surprise, I heard a very familiar voice, the voice of Dame Shirley Bassey, the singer of songs like Moonraker, Diamonds Are Forever, and of course Goldfinger. How in the heck did they get her in this movie? The song itself does sound like something out of the Bond series, only a little bit underproduced and not as good. But what really makes this scene bad is the visuals, which are sort of Bondian in nature, yes, but feature some of the ugliest animated characters I've ever seen, and they dance, they're supposed to be sexy, I think, and they dance, and it is not sexy, and it is terrifying. And then occasionally they mix in clips of animals. Interesting start for sure. Right after the opening credits, we see the Scottish Highlands at night with a voiceover by Sean Connery.
When I was just a boy,
He sounds old.
everything used to be rare.
Older than the last time I had heard him, which was in, of course, From Russia with Love, the video game. And it sounds like they used a 2011 iPhone microphone to record his voice lines, so that doesn't do any favors for his performance. After Connery's opening monologue, we arrive in an illegal animals deportation camp. Yikes. I wanted to make some kind of a reference to the modern world, but then I saw a look up close at the human characters in this movie, and I completely forgot about any sort of allegory to ice or anything like that, because look at these guys, they look horrific. This guy, I'm gonna call him Tail Eater from now on, because apparently he likes to eat the paws and tails of animals.
I've eaten the meat from their tail and their paws, and I must tell you, yes, mighty tasty.
I don't like that.
Mighty tasty.
Then this guy runs over a frog. I don't know why that needed to be included, but I think they just ran over that frog and it died. The animals they're carrying can talk, which is cool and it's very cute. I love when animals talk in movies.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I don't really know what kind of animal this is supposed to be. To me, it looked kind of like a squirrel. It reminded me of Scrat. one of my favorite characters. The truck driver, who I guess cares about the safety of animals, swerves out of the way to avoid hitting this strangely thick bunny. That's the best way I could describe it, this kind of thick bunny. Crashing into the side of a cliff, causing some of the boxes of animals to fall off the cliff. And some of them, I guess, fall to their death. I'm not totally sure. One of them definitely survives, and it gets saved by the thick bunny.
I'm all alone now.
We then go to 5 years later. 5 years later, illegal beavers were returned to Norway under orders of the Scottish government. Okay, so I guess they were beavers, not squirrels. Case closed. However, a rogue police officer was convinced after several sightings were reported that a beaver remained at large. His hunt continues. So there's a guy I assume is going to be the freak from earlier, the tail eater. He's really hard at work on finding this one beaver. It's a beaver. It's just one of them. I looked it up. Beavers have a lifespan of 10 to 12 years. It's already been 5 years. This is now a middle-aged beaver. So even if it's like an invasive species of beavers, there won't be other beavers for the one beaver to mate with. This character's motivation is kind of an entire waste of time. Finally, it's 5 years later, and we meet this duck-like creature.
My name is Victoria.
She's kind of an annoying character. Now we are in a village. There's lots happening in this village. A guy gets hit in the balls by a milk carton, and there's a jester hanging out with Liza Minnelli.
Have you got any of those Mrs. Plumper's pies with blueberries?
And oh look, it's our friend the tail eater.
Mighty tasty. Here I am, still chasing a mysterious smelly beaver.
We are finally introduced to Sir Billi himself, who is some kind of farmer, I guess. Later I found out he is a veterinarian, but that was through reading about the movie, so not from the movie did I figure out he was a vet, but he just looks like a farmer. He has a cow on a treadmill, and then the cow gets moved by like a claw machine and put into a hot tub. Why? What is that for? Bond reference. Sir Billi throws his hat onto a hat rack, just like Connery did in Moneypenny's office in many of his Bond films. Sir Billi has a pet / friend / roommate, who I guess is a goat. Maybe he's a billy goat. Sorry. He is dressed in a Kill Bill costume for whatever reason and says, "There is no one quite like you in this hood." Then I think he pisses in his pants. This goat named Gordon is played by Alan Cumming, who is another famous actor. You might know him from things like X2 or Spy Kids or even GoldenEye. How did he end up in this movie? I guess we're gonna have to look at why he's involved at the end of this video as well. We then hear a musical cue from Thunderball, which I noticed. It's from the song Chateau Fight. It's kind of from the opening scene of Thunderball, the opening action scene. And it's like, dun 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 dun. That's it. Just that one little bit. In this, it's just a random like transition sound. I don't know how they got the rights to use that bit of music. I don't know if they got the rights to use that kind of music. We then transition to a castle, which I guess is owned by Sir Billi because his daughter lives at it with her son. Her son is named Jake. Not very important, but he'll probably come up later. From what I saw of Sir Billi, I didn't think he was royalty. But I guess his name is Sir Billi and not just Mr. Billi. Sir Billi is going to take Jake to school.
Give Papa a juicy kiss.
Kissing is for sissies, Papa. Oh, yuck. Yuck, 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 yuck.
While Sir Billi is driving Jake to school, he runs into Liza Minnelli and meets her sexy sister. Billi introduces himself to Liza's sister in a sort of Bond way.
My name is William. Billy to my friends. Pleased to meet you.
But then he completely fumbles the delivery, and it's hard to say if they were even going for a Bond reference. This goat is a freak. After about 15 minutes, we finally meet back up with the beaver, who is still with the thick bunny, and another bunny who is named Dave. She still sounds like a baby, even though she's now 5 years old and should be a middle-aged beaver.
Please wake up from this bad dream.
This is a major mistake. I think the filmmakers owe us all an apology on the misrepresentation of the age of this beaver character. Anyways, the beaver is doing some kind of Olympic sport thing with a bunch of other animals, and then jumps off of a cliff to save Dave after he fell off of a cliff. We cut back to Sir Billi, who pulverizes this random bunny with his car. Oh, but she survived, it's okay. Now that Billi and this random bunny are together, they can go to rescue Dave and the beaver, who are still in the river. The beaver's attempt to save Dave really did not help at all. It was embarrassing. Sir Billi makes three groups of 2 to 4 people in each to save a rabbit and a beaver. The town seems really willing to help, which is cute and all, but guys, it's a beaver and a rabbit. Do we really need that many people? Is Sir Billi the mayor of this town? I know he's the guardian of the Highlands, whatever that means. We go back to the tail-eating police officer hot on the trail of the
Smelly beaver.
He is confronted by Sir Billi himself,
I find you odd.
who tells him to leave the town. Instead, the tail-eater calls his old police buddy and convinces him to join him in the town to capture the beaver. When we see the other officer that he's on the phone with in his office, we see a wanted poster of the beaver in the background. Backtracking a bit, Dave and the beaver, whose name is Bessie, are still in the river. They are on a log but floating towards a dam which was just created today, of all days, by some businessman, this guy here. The dam is not well built and the turbines will suck the animals in and end their existence. Sir Billi and Gordon the goat are attempting to save them while this police helicopter is trying to capture Bessie Beaver. Anyways, now it's time for Gordon to dive off of the dam just like Pierce Brosnan did in GoldenEye. Unfortunately, after Gordon saves Bessie, he stands up on this boat and then he just kind of collapses backwards and into the water. I didn't know why for a while until somebody says that he had a cramp, I guess. He had a cramp, not from swimming though, because he wasn't in the water. He got a cramp from bungee jumping, I guess, which caused him to become temporarily paralyzed and then fall into the water. Why does this guy look so realistic? I think he's a Russian? How did the Russians get here? What is going on? The pilot duck says, your ass.
Your ass.
That just sounds like a pretty inappropriate thing for this kids movie, which I thought was a kids movie. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's supposed to be one of those like for all ages sort of Shrek-esque movies, but this is no Shrek.
Forget Indiana Jones. I should be called Jemima Bond.
The movie just kind of cuts to her saying this. She doesn't do anything cool to warrant her having like a one-liner or anything. She just kind of says it. Oh no, Gordon died. Oh no. Cue emotional montage of Gordon and Billy's friendship. It seems he and Bill did a lot of movies together. They did Rocky, Singing in the Rain, and Casablanca. Thankfully, the duck pilot throws a bottle of life-saving water from the plane without notice to anybody down below, and somehow Jake catches it. And then he does a pretty sick backflip. And with that, Gordon is alive! Gordon is alive! But oh no, the tail eater is back and he steals Bessie!
Oh, he's a beaver catcher! He's not a real policeman!
And now Sir Billi drives the famous Aston Martin DB5 from Goldfinger in the Scottish Highlands. He has a car chase with the beaver catcher, also known as the tail eater, who is driving Billy's animal rescue jeep for some reason. Some of the shots in this scene are actually kind of cool, and the car has some gadgets that you don't see in the movies, like more kid-friendly gadgets, which I thought was a nice touch. That's like my one positive so far, and the movie has about 8 minutes left. When the beaver catcher gets away, Billy switches to riding a skateboard down the hills, showing off some sick tricks. He rides his board off a cliff, then opens a parachute with the Scottish flag on it. Another great reference to Bond. The tail-eating beaver catcher gets arrested and the movie should be over. Somehow, it still has about 20 minutes. Sir Billi delivers a very inspiring and heartwarming speech at a pub with all of the characters from the town, and now it's time for a song and dance number. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh no, Liza's in the tub. Who put Liza in the tub? This is immediately sexual and I don't like it. Please stop. Stop. No. 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 I don't want to see any of this. I don't want to see any of this. It's like the movie... Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, it's like the movie is trying to hypnotize me or something. It's working. It's working. Wow. I loved that movie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, obviously. The hypnosis that the movie gave me at the end of the movie only lasted for about an hour or so. It's worn off by now. I'm fine. It was a piece of junk. It was a bad movie. Was that a movie? No. Of course, that was not really a movie. The actual story was over in about an hour, maybe a little bit over an hour. And then it had an extended dance scene that lasted 10 minutes. And then after that, it had another 10 minutes of credits. The real runtime of this movie was about an hour, which in my opinion would classify it as a short, albeit a long short, but a short nonetheless. Why in the world did Sir Sean Connery, the first James Bond, legendary actor in his own right, do this movie? There are a couple reasons, but it seems like the creators of this movie, Sasha and Tessa Hartman, were somewhat friends with a close friend of Connery's, Sir David Murray, who then sent the project to Connery himself. I always assumed that Connery made this film for maybe a grandchild or a family friend, but no. He made it for a friend, or at least an acquaintance of a friend, so that's interesting. And of course he made this movie to promote Scottish animation. The idea of a Scottish produced animated feature was very enticing to him. Connery was apparently thrilled with the final cut. Alan Cumming had a similar reason for joining the production, apparently being enticed by the filmmakers and wanting to promote Scottish animation. And that reason, along with the fact that it would be a Bond reunion, was the reason that Shirley Bassey joined the project for the opening song. At least that's what I found online. If I'm wrong, if somebody knows that that's not the case, let me know down below. In my opinion, this film doesn't do a very good job at promoting Scotland. It shows the Highlands, sure, it shows a village, and that's about it. It doesn't have much of a Scottish identity. Like I said, this movie is pretty bad. I don't think it should be considered as a movie, although, you know, depending on who you ask, it is. I'm still considering what I said about LXG being Connery's last film to be an accurate statement, in that it is Connery's last real movie. It had some elements of So Bad It's Good, which I love watching a So Bad It's Good movie. It was mostly just bad, and the hilarity of the animation and bad voice acting early on wears over time and becomes more grating the more you watch the movie. I hope you enjoyed me torturing myself yet again with another awful movie. I would not recommend Sir Billi to pretty much anyone unless you're in the mood for a really bad animated movie, which I know there are people that like that sort of thing. The Bond freak within me did enjoy the references in Sir Billi. Again, if you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what your favorite Bond parody movie is, and maybe I will talk about it in a future video. And if you want to get nuts,
come on, let's get nuts.
Why not hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything that I do. The links to my socials are in the description down below. I've got Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd. You can look at some film reviews or some other short form content on those platforms. This has been Jackaroni the Movie Guy, signing off. Sir Billi, what a guy.